Yo, so here we are, the kickoff, the launch, episode 1, Common Grounds Pod, BG, Rock Official, Big Shy. You like when I call you that? I like Big Shy.
Big Shy is nice.
You need a nickname.
I know, you can't just
Big
be shy.
Mama.
Yeah, Shy is wild.
Yep.
And it can't be
Big
Shy. Yeah,
Mama.
we got to find
Big Shy.
something. But until then, we gonna stick with Big Shy.
Yep.
But nah, man, I'm excited to be here. How y'all feeling, man? Talk to me.
Oh,
What's
man.
the word?
Yeah.
I can't look. I'm on this side of the grave, so I can't complain.
Yes, sir.
I'm not 6 feet on the other side, so we good. Yep. Yeah.
On that. So talk to me, man. What y'all most excited about now that we getting in full swing of the pod and everything like that, man? What you most excited about to get
Just
this thing going?
getting to meet swell people with great stories.
Yeah.
Talk about their journey, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. Give them the platform to not only serve themselves but serve others. I think that's the biggest thing for me with the pod. So.
Yeah, I'd really say just like engaging with the community and like getting more in touch with people instead of like always just being on our phones. Like we get the time to actually talk to people, get to know them.
Yeah.
So, and then being able to share that through the phone. But
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, likewise, man. You guys have heard me say it plenty of times, man. I think for me, being a community resource and an asset in some way, shape, or form through not just the pod, but what we, put our creative minds to create, for everybody to partake in and all that kind of stuff like that. So that's probably, sorry to fly in my face. That's probably what I'm most excited about, man. It's just what can we chef up as we put our minds together like we did with this platform, right? We sat around putting meeting of the minds together and it's like, I think we can do this, so on and so forth. So definitely excited about that. But enough of us, man. Let's get to why we're here. So we're here at the Six Sips Coffee Shop. Check it out here in Prosper, Texas, man. This place has been a blessing to us, man. They've been really good to us, to me personally, to us as a team. They've been very hospitable and all that good stuff, man. So we're just happy to be here and that they opened up their doors for us. The first time that I actually came here was, I think around the springtime, and I came with a mentor of mine. We were doing a Bible study here. It was like during the day, middle of the day, I came here. And I think the thing that jumped off the page for me at first was just, from a staff perspective, it looked like everybody really just frankly enjoyed being here. Man, from the smiles on their faces, just looked genuine, like joy was in the building, you know what I mean? But I was focused on what I was doing, so I wasn't giving too much, observation of the space and all that. So doing my thing, we come back another time, same thing. I'm like, man, it's nice in here. I like it. I like the vibe. I like the people. Then I start coming by myself, working from home, bring my laptop, working here. And then I probably did that 3-4 times before. At that time, they know me by name. I'm walking in, hey Brandon, when you come in and stuff like that. Right, no, for real. So Amanda, shout out Amanda. She actually knows my order. She knew my order by like the 3rd, 4th time I came in.
Literally.
She's like, well, you gonna get such and such? I'm like, yeah. So, but I remember, I'm bringing that up on purpose because I remember one time I was sitting at an event and there was a guest speaker there, and one of the things, I'm paraphrasing, one of the things that he said was one of the words that we as human beings love to hear most is our name, right? So even just walking through the building, right, and they say, hey Brandon, like that makes an impact, right? Considering the fact that I didn't sit down with these people for 15, 20 minutes and be like, this is who I am, and then they decide if they want to remember my name, you know what I mean? This is just me in and out, not even speaking to anybody with my headphones in, because I always got my headphones in. So anyway, I started to say this place is special. I love coming here. They're probably tired of seeing me. I started bringing you. We started doing our Bible study.
Then they learned my name. And my order.
Yeah. So I started bringing everybody I know, man, and I just really enjoy this place. So again, they probably tired of seeing me because I pop in at random times, man. I'm always in here. I know they're not tired of taking my money, but anyway, I'll be in here all the time.
Yeah.
You want anything else?
Exactly. But with that being said, man, I want to go ahead and introduce to some, present to others. This business dynamic is pretty interesting to me, right? Because we got, it's a family business, right?
Right.
We got 3 sisters. I think that's really unique. We got 3 sisters that started this place. And I'm just excited, man, to sit down with them and learn their story and how they got started and all that good stuff like that. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce Ashley, Brittany, and Cinda, owners of Six Sips Coffee Shop. You guys come on.
Hey.
more happy. Right? Good deal. Well, hey, it's funny. So last week I was sitting down with Ash, and I was giving her just kind of a rundown of like what to expect and so on and so forth for the pod. And she brought something to my attention. She was like, you know, I'm concerned about something. And I was like, okay, what is it? And she was like, well, me and my sisters, we tend to talk over each other a lot. So she's like, you know, I just hope that we don't do too much of that on the pod. So I was like, don't worry about it. I was like, my sister-in-law, my wife, and her mom, they do that all the time. It drives me nuts. Can somebody get a thought finished before somebody come in? Like, it drives me up the wall. But all that to say, man, I'm very, very excited to have you guys here. Thank you for opening up your doors. Thank you for opening up your schedule, so on and so forth. So with that being said, man, one of the things that I noticed when I came in, I think pretty much everybody does, right? You got your story on the wall right here. I know you guys can't see it, but they got their story on the wall right here. And then behind the bar, you guys got this saying, this slogan, this quote, whatever you want to call it, right? There's always room for one more. Right. So you guys break that down. Like, what does that mean to you guys? What does that mean to you guys as a business, as a family structure? Like, where did that quote originate from, and why is it so important to you guys?
Well, so I think because I told you the story when we met that one time. So there's always room for one more. It's not actually a saying our grandma said, even though we put it as quoted from grandma. But we come from a very large family. We're very close with our aunts, uncles, our grandparents, cousins. And when we moved away and we realized most people don't have that community built into their family any longer. Like we live far apart from each other, and we realized that so many people need so much more community than what they have, and we're getting so isolated. And so what we wanted, we feel very blessed with the family that we have. And so we wanted to be a blessing to our community, to say, hey, let's have a space where when somebody walks in, they feel like they're part of our family, that they feel included and they can fellowship with people. They can have Bible study together. They can, people know their names, and where this might be the only place where they feel that peace throughout their whole day. And so our grandma specifically taught us, like, there's always room for one more. She accepted all of our friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, everybody, and there's always room for one more. Like, we will always include more.
And she was actually an only child. And so she was an only child. She had 6 kids. They all got married, had kids, and so we have a very large family. And so from coming from an only child, that was what she wanted. She wanted just her house full. And I think we always say it that we did Christmas over at her house every year when we were little. And you know, we were tiny, and then we grew up and we would still do Christmas there. And I don't know with our bigger bodies how we still fit in that. It was like the room it's like the room grew with us.
It was a Mary Poppins.
But coming, I mean, I think that's the coolest part, is coming from that she was an only child and she created this gigantic family where we're all still very close with our cousins. And I mean, if you guys have seen our stuff, like we've had 3 sets of family members come down and surprise us, whether they drove from Ohio, they flew, because they wanted to be a part of this. And I think it's something really special when you know that a lot of people don't have that type of relationship with their extended family. And so we're very, very fortunate for that.
You good?
Yep.
Amen.
I will say to hear that, I guess it's more of like giving you guys your flowers more than a question. I'm not the question asking type, but I give flowers more than anything. And I would say for you guys, hearing you guys speak of that, you know, the platform of your mission, I would say for me, that's what you guys have been for me, whether you guys know it or not. I'm from Pineville, Louisiana, and everything I know is in Louisiana. I've told him for the 2 years I've been here, I don't really have a community. I don't really have a family out here, you know. And so coming here with him and seeing how literally the second or third time you guys knew my name, my order, how much I like LaCroix.
And the Ollie
it became one of those things where he'll tell you I'm also funny acting. I'm very fickle. I looked forward to 9 a.m. every Saturday because this is like a family to me. So I want to give you guys your flowers for sure. Because you guys are one of the few staples in my life each and every week.
Well, I love that because there was one Saturday that you guys weren't here, and I was like, where's Brandon and Christian? Like, I wanted to go and like stake claim for your guys' spot at the front of the shop because there was one time and I was like, I wonder if they walked in and saw somebody there, like what they would do because they had their spot, and so it's noticed when you're not here. So
they poke at me when I come. Like if we don't show up, when I come back in, they're like, "Where were you at?"
Yeah, what were you doing?
I want the rest of that day. That's awesome. I know you guys got careers outside of this, right? Do a little bit of my research. So everything from dental hygienist to working in the school district and all that kind of stuff like that. So with that being said, how did this come about, right? Because I feel like that's a tough sell.
So whenever anything goes wrong, they like to bring up that like you put us in this position. This was the original idea was something that I thought of. We had a mobile coffee cart business that we started in 2021. I was at a farmer's market. I saw one, and then I was like, "Oh, that would be a cool like family project to do once a weekend or something like that." A hobby. Yes. Yes. But at the time, I had a kiddo that was gluten-free. She had a kiddo that was dairy-free, and we are more ingredient conscious in our home lifestyles. And so I was like, it'd be cool to do something unique that people like us want. A place where a family can come and anybody with any dietary restrictions can find something to have, and to really put the ingredients at the forefront. Like it was really important to us. And so I was like, we could do that and we could make it better. And so my husband was like, when were we gonna have time to do this? I was like, we can do it. He's like, you know what? Ask your sisters if they want to do it with us. And we can divide it up. So we called Cinda and Jeremy first. They were on board. We were going to dinner with them that night. And so after a couple drinks, I was like, so we have a proposal. Let's start a business. They were all in. Her husband is in restaurant industry, and so they know a lot more about that. And then the next day, we met with Brittany and Brandon. I think the four of us bombarded you, right?
Yeah,
I think all of us were there.
6 of us were there.
Yeah, because we were like, well, the 4 of us are in.
Yeah.
So you got to be.
It's a family business, so
You're in this.
so either we're in or out. Right. Family in itself.
Right.
So we trapped them. We trapped them in, and then so we started that, and it became very busy, and we all had full-time jobs, and not really sustainable as just with the cart. And so I think enough people asked us when we were at events or at markets, like, where can we find you? Because we realized even with just the cart, we had something special. Like, people love to come to, like, y'all are sisters. I mean, that was like so interesting to people. And to us, it was just very normal because we're always together.
And we started having regulars at random places at different events. It was fine where we were, and we had Instagram at that point, and so we had regulars for a mobile cart, which was like,
that's unheard of.
that's
so
cool.
Like, hey, we have something special. Let's try to do this storefront, and here we are.
It was like a go big, go home, I think.
We didn't, it wasn't really in the plans to do a brick and mortar until somebody approached us regarding a brick and mortar, and then we were like, like maybe we might want to look at that, and then we were all like, we really need to do it now. And then that's how this happened.
This hobby? This is how our hobby continued.
Once a weekend.
Exactly. Wish my hobbies made me money.
But
why coffee though? I mean, you guys could have did t-shirts. You guys could have did
T-shirts.
old
Yeah,
tires.
we do t-shirts. Yeah.
Do everything, right?
I think, well, go ahead. I feel like, so we obviously, our generation grew up with Friends.
Yeah.
And we always watched, like, I vividly remember all of us getting together at the series finale. And we just always loved the concept of these 6 people that had nobody else, that didn't have, and they created a family because of a coffee shop.
Wow.
And so they were constantly at Central
On a
Park.
couch.
On a couch.
And that's why we have the couch.
And yeah, and it really
that.
was. And so with that, it was
I know, right?
like
I love that.
and it's
y'all
6
perfect, bro.
people, and it's 3 guys and 3 girls, and so it's like with that, it just was kind of like that felt like home to us.
Yeah.
You know, the show that we constantly in our family, one-liners all the time of it. And so then it was like when we had our first meeting, you know, for doing it, we sat on Ashley's couch at her house, and we jokingly, up there, we jokingly said, "Hey boys, when we have a shop, we're getting a couch." And so,
We actually have a reel from when we were doing mobile, and this wasn't even a thought, and it was like, one day when we have, I forget exactly what it says, but it basically says, one day when we have a shop, and it like has a bunch of pictures of friends on the couch, and we weren't even, this was when we were still very new in the mobile, and so it was like a joke, and now it's, you know.
But we also like, that is something, when I think of coffee, and I think we've all said it, like when I think of coffee, we jokingly say it's like a hug and a hug, you know, but it's like, there are so many times when we go on vacation, because growing up, that was a thing, like that was a non-negotiable, like with our family, because my dad always traveled with his work, and he wanted a solid week that we all just spent together.
Yeah.
And growing up, we all looked forward to like the mornings waking up together and just enjoying a cup of coffee out on the patio. And that is something, like we live back to back with each other, but it's like anytime we're hanging out, or like we've had some like girls' slumber parties and stuff, getting up in the morning to have coffee, because it's a moment, it's an experience. It's not just a quick, you know,
It's very easy.
Monday through Friday. Yeah, it's like you're using it just, but it's not enjoyable like it is when you
It was
invite
like
people.
after like Thanksgiving, like after any type of birthday, whatever it may be, like the first question out of my mom or dad's mouth is, "All right, who's having coffee?"
Yes.
It's like I always say like sports brings people together, but like coffee, I don't know what, you don't even have to
Yes.
like it, and it's just like a comforting.
It does.
Yeah, because
That's
you're
it.
just like you're just sitting there and you get to kind of just like come together, but that's it does bring people together.
Yeah.
Sure.
I never got into the coffee after dinner thing. Like,
Oh,
That's the best.
it kind of scares me. I'm kinda
yeah, you
like,
want cappuccino now?
Yo, what's up, fam? I want to take a quick moment to share about something close to our hearts here at Common Grounds, the Pour For Perthes fundraising campaign. We're partnering with 6 Sips Coffee to raise awareness and funds for Perthes disease, a rare condition impacting young kids like Sophia, the daughter of one of 6 Sips' owners. Stay tuned, as we will be hosting events at the shop in the upcoming year, all to support Sophia and the Perthes Kids Foundation. All proceeds will support research and provide resources for families affected. Together, let's pour into something meaningful. Thanks for joining us on this journey. Peace. One thing I kind of highlighted already, one thing that I appreciate when I come in, when I first started coming in, was just how seen I felt, right? And from the small detail of, again, somebody knowing my name, knowing my order, and things of that nature. So when you guys think about, you know, when you launched this place, what was the mindset and approach behind creating that type of culture here to where it feels like every single guest that comes in is seen, right? Was that just a matter of you guys are really good at picking staff, right? Or is it a matter of you guys really have to coach them through, like, this is how we cultivate our family culture?
She did that.
I would say every single interview, the main thing I looked for was, you know, I told people, I was like, I'm terrible with names. You, like, I have a ton of students.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you their name. I mean, they're not my personal students, but I'm really bad with names. But and exactly what I said in my interviews is I was like, but But I can tell you when somebody comes in, I can recognize a face. If they mention, oh, I'm on the way to the dentist, I can be like, okay, I know this person, I associate it with the dentist, and then I associate it with their drink. And then I try to figure out their names. And I told them that that's my, I don't care if you're slower moving behind the bar, if you, if it takes you longer to do certain things, or if I have to train you more and more, something you cannot train is how people are with other people. And, you know, I said, I don't care if you get to know names right away, but it is the moment, like, you can make or break somebody's day the moment they walk in the store. Right. So in the mornings, you can either, they can go sit in traffic and be really upset, or they can be in a really good mood because of how you approach them. And so it's, you know, the biggest thing to me was greeting people, saying their names back to them. One thing I always train is saying, we ask for names. Yeah. You say their name at least 2 or 3 times before they leave the building. So what's your name? Oh, Joe. Okay, Joe, I have this and this and this. Joe, your order will be ready at the end of the bar. And then, Joe, have a good day. And so it's really, because then that helps our baristas. Yeah. And I feel like people, I think we've all said, I mean, we have very, very good coffee. Yeah. But how I wanted people to feel leaving here is whether we had mediocre coffee or great coffee, people want to come back here because of how they're treated. And I can say confidently, like, we have an amazing staff. And they, you know, when I was here full time and I would just listen to them at the POS system, how they talk to people and how they engage, and how, not just how they engage with our customers, but how our customers engage with them. It's, here, hold my baby. And our employees are now holding babies while the moms eat. And it's the fact that they trust our staff enough, and it's just, it's really cool to just kind of sit back and watch how our staff treats our customers and how our customers treat our staff, because it's, you don't see that. Unique. You don't see that anywhere you go. And now that we're in this business, when I go places, I look for that. And when it's like herding cattle or just trying to get through tickets and get them out the door, that's when you lose that sweetness of a place, and that's where you lose who we are. And I never want to lose that, because that's probably the thing that stands out the most.
I love you said that real quick about like how things can get chaotic, you know, if you look at another place and like they're in the hustle and bustle trying to get them in and out the door. I feel like you guys balance that well, because I've seen when it is busy in here, right? And I still think you guys have mastered a way to still make people feel like, okay, here's your coffee, get out the door. You know what I mean, right? Like, it still feels like, you know, you guys are taking your time, still moving with the purpose, right? But at the same time, like, I feel like you guys balance that, like, operational efficiency, but at the same time still being like, I need to be with people and make them continue to feel as much as possible. You know what I mean?
Well, and I think Cinda also did a good job, you know, every time she hired someone, to explain to them, like, this business is very personal to us. I mean, it's a direct reflection of our relationship. We built it like a home. Like, it's very personal. And so when you work here, you are the reflection of us to everybody else.
They're extensions of the family.
And so that we don't take that lightly. So you have to maintain a certain professionalism to show our family to others, because obviously the 3 of us can't be here all the time. Well, and our husbands, like, we you know, a lot of it's the sisters, but the 3, like, our support systems are big time. And so just our family, having them be able to emulate that to the community and just make it bigger and bigger is really important. And our staff does that. Like, they're great. But it's very scary when you give something so personal to others to be the reflection of you. And so Cinda did a good job of like, you know, explaining that's like priority number 1.
Love that. Favorite question. topic rather. Challenges in every small business. Challenges.
No, we haven't had any.
We're very unique.
Y'all been coming off real perfect.
You didn't even finish it.
I don't know if y'all really caught that. I'm so glad Shy paused it because I was getting ready to, you know me, I'm not as polished. I was gonna be like, all right, so like, do you hire fast and fire quickly?
That's the one. That's how I would do it. Give me the drama. No, but
The drama.
give me that. Yeah. They want to see that drama. But no, kind of a fun question. You don't necessarily have to answer. I have a more serious question with this, but is it hard working with your sisters? Because I don't want to work with my brother.
Oh God, if I had to work with I love you. I do.
Yeah, shout out to my brother.
I don't co-sign either. I would definitely work with my sister. I'll pay you top dollar.
Top dollar is crazy. I would. I'm messing around. I'll pay my brother.
Hey.
Oh man, I'd give my sister my salary.
Hey, you hear that, Christopher? Come on.
That was a C, an A, and a P. Cat. Cat.
She's gonna be a doctor, so she really should pay me. But
anyway. But no, I mean, personally, individually, collectively, like, what are some of those like early struggles that you guys have seen? I mean, you guys only been in business not even a year yet. December will be a year, right?
For the shop.
For the shop, yeah, exactly.
So we've had challenges for longer than a year
Yeah.
because we started in 2021 with the cart. And I always say the greatest part of this business is working with my siblings and my husband. One of the hardest parts is working with my siblings and my husband. But the thing that I think makes it work is at the end of the day, we are all for each other, and like nothing comes between that. Like we could have very big disagreements, and of course when you're in something this intimate and you have money involved, and there's gonna be times when not 6 people agree on things. I mean, that's just the way it is. But I think the cool thing that we've been able to do is look at not all these differences, but when you put the strengths of all 6 of us together, we are one really badass person, like honestly. And I think we're still finessing it all the time, but we are really working in our strengths because we have one goal. And it's a goal so much bigger than us individually.
That's awesome.
The clean organic products, right? You guys stand on that. Why is that important for the consumer? Why is that important in something like coffee to have clean organic products in something as simple as your coffee cup?
Because I don't think anything's just simple, especially when you're having something every day. It's a cumulative effect. I work in a holistic dental practice, so and my family has been pretty holistic for about 10, 12 years. And so it's very important to me, and then our family is just really pays attention to that because there's a lot of health issues going on in the world, and especially in our food system. And I think we have to do our due diligence because the food's not the same that it was when we were growing up. And so we try to make the best decisions. Everything in the shop is something that we would put on our table in our homes.
You get one body. God gave you one body, and like take care of it.
And so we try to be a place where, mom, dad, you can bring your kids and you feel confident and good about what they're having. We have sweet treats, but we make sure that they don't have preservatives, they don't have dyes and coloring and stuff in them.
They also have gluten-free options. Free girlies.
And we have vegan options. That was a big deal for us because we went. I mean, there were numerous times I took my daughter who was gluten-free places, and there would be nothing that she could have. And so, it's just annoying as a parent. And so we didn't want to be that.
And also, organic coffee just tastes better. Our big thing was because we, are not big on, the sweet drinks. And so when we were, trying everything black, we were thinking, I don't want to have to cover up bad tasting coffee with syrups. And so we really wanted to make sure, like, okay, no, we have like authentically like good, that people that don't add anything walk away constantly like, this is so good. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Because it's like really good, like, it's good coffee. Yes.
Right.
It's not like, because that can, like, I don't know, isn't coffee under like the Dirty Dozen or something, like coffee beans? So.
Was that hard, like, to, you know, outsource that in a sense? Like,
Right. I was just about to ask you, like, is it tough, like when it comes to getting those products and things like that? Is that, because I know for me, like, I'm almost like a completely like alkaline-based diet. Like, I really don't. I fast, and if I am eating, it's like burro bananas and, you know, papayas and stuff like that. So, and I know how hard it is for me to find even fruits and vegetables that I can trust. So, like, how?
It can be. Our main thing when we started looking for a roaster was organic. I mean, we didn't even consider anything that wasn't organic, obviously. When we found a couple roasters, we just did like a blind tasting for all of the coffees, and they all came out to be one specific roaster. It is sometimes difficult because they get their beans from other countries, and so if they only get a certain amount of pounds, we may not be able to get what we need, and so we've had to adjust. If we place an order for 30 pounds of a specific bean, they may not have it, and so we have to kind of adjust where we're what we're doing, but we'll never sacrifice our product and quality to get something that tastes like it. We will just adjust the coffee
or suggest something else.
Suggest something else. So I mean, our cold brew, which is something that we have been known for, doing our mobile. When we opened the shop, Bolivia was basically like at not a strike, but they couldn't get all their product in over, and it was probably 2 months, and I was like, oh my gosh, we're opening the doors to the coffee shop, and that's our big thing, and that's what we're known for, and we don't have our Bolivian beans, and so we had to adjust, and we used a Honduran bean, and people loved it, and then we got our Bolivian in, and so it was like, woo, and so you definitely, because they are organic, and it's from a smaller local roaster.
Most of our pastries from that have no preservatives. Well, when you don't have preservatives, you only keep them for a small amount of time. We have a lot of fresh fruit foods that we make, so we are not, hey, let's make this and it's good for 3 weeks. And so things, to stay on top of it, to keep things fresh, to not waste stuff. Like I feel like that is probably one of our biggest challenges, but people love our food because a lot of times when you go to coffee shops, you might have a few pastries or something, or prepackaged items or something like that. But we have people come in for lunch. Lots of people come in for breakfast.
No coffee, just food.
Yeah. And so we accidentally got ourselves into this, not really a restaurant, but not more than a coffee shop. So we're just doing our own thing. But it's really good.
That's probably what's essential right now.
It's a unique.
Yes.
I usually don't like your traditional coffee shop and food. Cause I don't like a lot of sweets. So I don't like to run somewhere and be like, all I got is.
That's the thing. Typically, that's all. And I remember us having that conversation. Jeremy specifically said.
Jeremy was like,
all it's gonna have to be a kitchen.
Because if we do a coffee shop, we have got to have something more substantial than just a piece of bread. He was like, I like croissants, but I don't want a croissant for breakfast. He's like, I need food,
especially every day.
And so that's the one where I always yell at him about, got all this food and you're not here. But it is something that sets us apart. We have really good breakfast tacos. We have breakfast sandwiches. I constantly am looking at inventory stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we just bought this, and we fly through we fly through eggs, and it's just really cool to see how much food we do on top of our coffee.
Who makes the brisket?
Jeremy.
Hey boy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
You be
so
going
good.
crazy with that brisket, boy.
Yeah, he take his shoe off, his whole foot. He might even like wiggle his toes. Like his toes.
And you make a lot.
Yeah, shout out to my guy Jeremy.
Shout out Jeremy, man. That's awesome.
So good.
So I want to kind of switch gears and go kind of on what you go. Did you even check?
Timer, no, we should be good on timer. It'll cut off at 30.
Okay.
So we're good on timer, and then I'll reset it.
Okay. I want to switch gears and go more into kind of a serious-ish tone with the family. So when we sat down and we talked about the platform, what we wanted to create, what we wanted to stand for, and all that kind of stuff like that, like it's important to us to see needs, to be anticipate those needs, and then meet them in certain ways, unique ways, creative things, all that kind of stuff like that. Really being, hands and feet within the community. And we thought about the fundraising campaign that I reached out to you guys about the other day for Brittany for your daughter Sophia. So you don't have to go into deep detail about the specifics of the campaign yet, or even anything about really Sophia if you don't want to. But I just want to get your take on, and all three of you guys can speak on this if you want, like what that would mean to you guys as a family to have something like that, have the community support you guys in that way. We just kind of want to get you guys' thoughts on what we're kind of putting together for that, because I think it would be something special.
Yeah, me too. I just have to say, when I got your message, I cried immediately, and I told my husband about it. But so getting her diagnosis, and know that I am very well aware that there are so many more diagnoses that are far more severe. But as a mom, you don't ever want your kids to suffer. I had hip surgeries all growing up, so that then had an extra trigger and pain to it because I never wanted my kids to experience what I went through. So for her, I had never heard of Perthes, and I lived in a world of always seeing hip surgeons and seeing x-rays, and I feel that's very odd that I never had heard of it, the rarity of it. So with that, I really didn't have a whole lot. I just kind of immersed myself in what Perthes was and how I could best support her. I know that when I first got her diagnosis, I didn't go on the deep end, but I wanted to make myself most aware of what potentially it could look like, because I didn't want to go into an appointment and I knew she would be watching my reaction, and I wanted my reaction to be level-headed. And if I freaked out and went tunnel vision, couldn't hear anything, I didn't want to panic her. It's her body, so I very much wanted her to be aware of what could end up happening. And so I had gotten on a Facebook group of parents of Perthes, and that's where I first heard of the Perthes Foundation. And watching these kids at different stages of Perthes come together to meet somebody else that is going through something that nobody else understands, because really, unless you've gone through it, you don't understand. And then also for the parents to be able to have that support of, how to help their child go through it. So it's just, I think, a huge blessing, because then it gets people, one, there's a lot of stigma that comes against, other things. And I think Sophia in itself, when people ask her what's going on, is starting to get very here, I have to explain it again. And so I think when there's a community involved and being able to, support, I think that's huge, because she's still a little kid. So,
Thank you.
But I'm super grateful and love that.
You answered this so well.
We did.
I was waiting to take over if you needed to.
Oh,
That's okay. You did great. I've been doing it for quite a while. Go back into your
Definitely, yeah.
guys, stay tuned. That is a campaign that we'll be partnering with Six Sips on in the near future. So we'll release information about that kind of stuff in the near future. But to kind of switch tones back to something more light now. What are some of you guys' favorite moments, stories, collectively that you guys have?
Oh, I want to
do like that personally.
Oh, you'll have to share.
Okay,
Sure.
Okay.
She already knows.
Yeah.
Well, mine's just sweet. So right before we opened, so we were up here. It was a disaster trying to open the shop because permits were taking forever to come through. We were like months late of when we were actually supposed to open. So we're all kind of freaking out a little bit. So finally, we're just working non-stop, and we opened December 16th was our friends and family event. So this is like during the busiest time of the year too.
Right.
And it was just chaos. And we were exhausted. We're not sleeping. We're up here every waking moment that we are not at work or doing family stuff, whatever. And the three of us are sitting on the floor in the kitchen because we're exhausted. And I don't know what we were doing. Well, we were like putting the kitchen together. We were organizing something.
We were opening champagne.
Well, that was part of it. And then at that point we had to, because that was the right thing.
Right, it's actually a party. There's a reason we couldn't stand up.
And so we made so sit on the ground. That's not exactly why we're on that. No, and Cinda, when we first came into the space before anything was here, before construction started, Cinda had an idea for a reel, and that we had the blueprints to this, and she brought it up to the camera. And so then when we reveal what it looks like at the end, then we're gonna see, the shop. So Cinda made the reel, and it has this very sweet music, and you see like just nothing, a construction site, and you see the plans go up, and then it comes down, and it just pans around this beautiful space with the Christmas tree up, and we all
are watching it, and then all of a sudden we put the phone down all the time.
like the sweetest, saddest song. And then we're like, are we just overly tired? What is happening to us? But that moment will be, because it was just the three of us, it was nighttime.
It was just like seeing the fruition.
We're there, got it, and like, look how beautiful and special this is.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Brittany has a funny one though.
Okay. Y'all think it's super funny. Okay. This is my role as a middle child. We actually have really good mochas. I know. Okay, so yes. Preface, we have amazing mochas.
Okay.
Now, 3 years ago.
Yes.
So we were at a pumpkin patch event that we did every single weekend in September and October, in the middle of going to and from sports and everything, blazing hot. We're there. Ashley, typically I always did POS, like I took the orders and then would tell them. For some reason, Ashley was doing it, and then she looked back at me, and a girl had ordered an iced mocha. Was it iced?
Well, she said, can y'all make an iced mocha? And what is every good business owner?
Yes,
Hold
on, but let me preface what we have at the pumpkin patch. We have drip coffee at the pumpkin patch. And espresso machine and syrups. Yes, and syrups and milk. Yes. But I'm saying, and I know. Espresso machine and ice. So, no, we had cold brew.
Yeah, we didn't
We had cold brew.
So everything you needed.
You couldn't make mocha.
Basically almost all
Everything.
So she asks, can I have a mocha? And she goes, yeah. Looks back at me and goes, can you make the mocha? And I look at her. Mind you, at this point, I've never even drank mocha. I have no idea what's in a mocha. I just know it's chocolatey. And I was like, what? And she goes, just make the mocha. And I was like, so I look over, I'm like, dark chocolate? Coffee? And the milk. And I was like, yeah. And she goes, thank you. And I was like, okay. I don't know. So girl, if that was you at the pumpkin patch.
No, but she took a drink. This is delicious.
Like chocolate milk with some It was like some chocolate milk. And so we make a joke with the staff. whenever there's hard times, you just figure it out. You make the mocha. So like, if you make the mocha, figure it out. Like, exactly.
Because things happen in business, and like you have to make the mocha.
So I'm gonna quickly tell something that always stands out with me is, so when we did mobile, we would do, all these pop-ups, and we would do neighborhood pop-ups, and the fact that we have a shop still blows my mind. Because if you looked at us 3 years ago, we probably looked like we knew what we were doing. We didn't. And it was making the mocha constantly. Well, we went to Artesia, and we popped up, setting up for these mobile events was a process. We had our tent up, it was freezing.
It was like 35 degrees outside.
We had the espresso machine. Honestly, we had so much stuff. And I forgot shoes. I had slippers.
Oh, wow.
What did you wear? I had slippers.
Well, she had stayed the night somewhere.
I
forgot to bring
shoes, clothes, and shorts. And so I had on,
luckily she has sisters.
I had like leg warmers on and sweatshirts and slippers and a hat on, and I looked homeless.
I have a picture.
And it is bad. And the fact that anybody let me serve them coffee boggles my mind. And at the time, I'm pretty sure I was the only one who knew how to work the espresso machine because I was the only one doing the espresso. A big gust of wind hit our milk. And
it hit the canopy, the side, the window.
And we had our milk in a insulated thing, and it knocked over, and milk goes everywhere, and the canopy's about to fly away, and we have a line of people. And there is. I had milk like on my back, and there's a picture, and it was one of those like I can't change the fact that the milk was spilled. And I have people, so I have to serve, and I'm like in a straddle position. Since I'm wearing slippers, they don't have soles. So I have one foot in one dry area and one foot in another dry area, and I'm almost doing the splits with working the espresso machine.
And I'm doing POS pretending like it's not a circus behind us, like, trust us! Trust us! And then one lady did come up and she goes, how do y'all get in these predicaments? Because one time she was at another event that we were at Star Trail, and the cold brew had spilled over in the back of Cinda's car. The entire
3 gallons of cold brew in my 2-week-old car.
So it's like, So it's just
things happen, and the fact that we still had people that came to us seriously still blows my mind when I see people from Artesia, and I'm like, what?
It's definitely authenticity.
Exactly. It's probably like relatable, like
people appreciate authenticity. When
Good coffee and authenticity.
Exactly. Like it can't be too perfect.
Exactly. No.
They try to do something to me. Right? Exactly.
But honestly, I feel like that's how, not that is how it's been this whole first year, but like it is one of those things that you just have to, the best way to learn is going through, like having mistakes, and that's when you learn the most. And so for several months, like our staff would look at me and they'd be like, what do I do? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, we may own this place, but you make the mocha. You just gotta do what you gotta do.
I think I love that most about you guys and about what you guys are building. Because it's not like, in my opinion, it's not your typical, business owner you're talking to where like, I always had this on my vision board, and I planned for this, and I went to school for this, and I did that, whatever. It's kind of like, I see you guys as two sisters that were just like, I think we can do it, let's try it. And then we'll just fumble and stumble our way into it, and then we get here, So I think that that's an inspiration to anybody out there, that, at least to me, for sure, like, as you want to create anything, you want to start your own business, like, you don't have to have all the answers all the time. And you don't have to overanalyze anything.
You're never gonna start it.
Exactly.
You're still learning so much.
Yeah.
But you can learn a lot. in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, we're like, okay, we could open another one now. We
Don't
It's all right now. Not right now. Strike that phone. No, that's open. When the time comes, and we know how to do it so much better. And I think that's what every business owner does. I mean, you always get better, and you refine your systems, and you just gain so much knowledge just by jumping in. Because otherwise, you're not going to. No school, no training, none of that prepares you for the nitty gritty of business.
And that's what you try to have like a plan that's never gonna go according to that plan, and then it almost creates more stress because then you're like, well, why is it not?
So you had expectations.
A story about our plan, our first vision board. We were supposed to have a coffee trailer. Okay, we bought a coffee trailer. Matter of fact, later on we bought another one. We at one point had 2 trailers with no coffee in them, and we still only functioned with our cart. And then we sold both of the trailers because we were like, we have these 2 trailers, we're not doing anything. And we're like, let's pivot, let's do a storefront.
We made a second cart before we sold the other 2, and it's because we got double booked, and we were like, well, we got 1 cart and 2 events, so it was a
somebody need a cart now. Yeah, and they made it happen.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy because like I've heard before you can win, you have to lose. And it's so funny to hear y'all say you have to go for it. Just make the most of it. Yeah. I might get that tattoo. I don't even have tattoos. But I heard a pastor say one time, you have to trust your wings. And my father, who, shout out to him, I tell him all the time, he might be the closest thing to Jesus Christ. And I'm not lying. Y'all will get to meet him. Shout out. Eventually. He loves to just make random trips to Dallas, Texas. So
sweet, bring him in.
But he piggybacked off of what that pastor said. He said, you have to ask yourself when you see birds flying, and you see them land on these skinny branches at the top of the tallest tree, and you can't help but to wonder, what do they trust the most, the branch or their wings?
Oh, wow.
And he always says, I bet you say they trust their wings. And I feel like you guys are just that. Yeah, you guys are trusting your wings. Like,
I mean, sometimes I think about the branch. Like you told me, it was like
maybe a little bit. One of the biggest, I think, what makes it easy for us to do it is because we're all in it. That is actually, I think, a huge part of it. If I was just doing it solo, like I tend to jump into things, but I feel like I do that a lot because my husband is super supportive, and I feel like I trust his wings. But because all of us, I'm like, between us, like,
You're good.
we'll make it work. Like, how will we not?
Well, that, like, going back to when you asked, how is it working with family? I always think, like, I don't know if I could ever go into business with somebody that isn't, because I look at it, staking claim, and this isn't just Brandon and I, this is Cameron and Sophia also. And I'm trusting, who would I trust with their future more than my sisters, who love them just as much. And so, and my brothers-in-law. But, that made it so much, easier to make the decisions. And like, nobody else would care as much about their future and their, because of that investment than them. So.
Because it transcends the shop.
Absolutely.
Like if nothing else matters for a second argument, y'all matter to each other. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, let's see if we can get this in.
So in business, you scale, right? So, what's next for you guys? Is another shop in the works? Not right now. But is that on the vision board? Is that on what you guys are thinking about down the line? I also was looking before you answered that. I was looking on IG again, just scrubbing, the business profile, and I saw that you guys have like an owner little circle thing, right? So you can click into it and read about each one of you guys. And I saw that you guys made a point in each one that this was something that you guys want your children involved in at some point. Why is that so important to you guys? Do you care? Let me say it this way. Do you care so much that they continue this business, or do you care more about them getting a solid understanding of how to do something like this and have the courage to do something like this?
My big thing is, the first time our kids walked in the doors, when we first, like before we even had all this stuff in here, and watching their expression with it, I have thoroughly loved them seeing that this was not something handed to us. This was not a franchise that we bought from somebody else. Six Sips was not a company until we created it. And they have watched us, tears and sweat and going from one job. There was a day that teaching-wise, got up and left my house by 6:30 in the morning, worked, came home, unloaded the stuff, loaded the cart to my car. We did a Christmas on the Square in Salina, and I did not get home until 10:30 at night. And they watched. They get to see that if it's something important, you work for it. And I think that is a big thing, is to have work ethic. And we watched our dad bust his tail our entire lives, and our mom take care of everything else, because while he was traveling, and we watched them with such a strong work ethic, that is something I'm so hopeful that they are getting to see, is that this didn't just land in our laps, that we have worked for something very hard.
And one of the important things for me, I have 3 girls, and I always want them to know that they can do anything they want. If they want to one day just pick up and start a business, they 100% can, and they will not be scared, because they're like, oh, I watched my mom and my sisters figure this out. And I think especially for girls, that was really important for me, because I want them to be strong and be able to stand on their own 2 feet and never be afraid of something about being creative or in anything that they decide to do. And I think it's still pretty cool when they talk to their friends, like, oh yeah, I'm going to, the shop. Like, it's just the shop, it's where everybody comes. Very much so. And then we make them, work sometimes when they're here, and they're washing dishes and doing stuff like that. And but it's definitely, and it's our special place.
Well, is there anything exciting coming up that you guys want to talk about? Tell the audience, tell the community, the customers. You guys got anything on the docket that you want to share, or just stay tuned?
We have a lot. I feel like there's a lot of events coming up. One thing that, now that we have our footing of almost a year in, we are doing more mobile events, catering things, using the space as a rental. So definitely trying to perfect that part of the business now. That we have a little bit of, I don't know if we have time. We'll make the time to do it. I was going to say, I don't know if that's quite the term, we have time.
But we prioritize. We want this to flourish, and so we're, whether that's us getting together
shop
on
number
Sundays.
2 comes around, we know how to do it.
She's like,
I don't know when, but I think we know how to do it well, and I think more communities need this.
But if you haven't, like, to the people that haven't been to Six Sips, when our tree is up and during the winter season, oh my gosh, the fireplace and the lights, like, on the mantle, oh gosh, it really is, and it's just
beautiful.
so.
All the way up to that year's I'm not even gonna face it. I'm just gonna face the fire. Y'all just see my back.
It really is. It feels so like magical. So
I'm excited.
I think I'm just really excited to look at hitting the 1-year mark, and it's just, so.
Good. Anything else? But to give y'all your flowers again, you guys are doing excellent. You guys are doing phenomenal. I thought this place had been here. You guys have been, at least brick and mortar, doing it that way for way longer.
Thank you.
Here again. So
I just learned tonight.
ain't it crazy, bro? Like, you guys you got it figured out, man. I know it's not perfect, and you guys might be like, oh, we got these holes, and we don't even have to see those holes. But regardless of the fact, this is pretty incredible. So I'm excited for you guys. Keep it going. We'll keep supporting you guys for sure. Thank you for supporting us.
Yes.
We appreciate you guys for doing that. And yeah, I'm just excited to see where this goes for you guys.
Thank you. Well, to give you guys flowers, I do want to say, when you have like certain weeks or months and you're in the nitty gritty of doing this, especially since this is episode 1 and y'all are gonna get there, things like this kind of validate why you're doing it, because there are some days where we're just like, this is so much work, this is so hard, and yeah, we love it, but it consumes so much of our time. But then to sit here right now, like I can speak for myself, it's like a revamp of like why we're doing it, and hearing even just y'all saying when you come here and shouting out to Amanda and that you feel like this is a family aspect for you. It just validates that what we're doing is special, and it makes me excited for tomorrow. It makes me excited for this next week of working and coming in and hoping that other people are feeling that. So for y'all, like, thank you for giving us, I mean, if I can speak for both of y'all, like, thank you for giving us that tonight, because like I said, it is hard. It is really hard to do this, day in and day out, and thinking of all the things constantly. But like this tonight, even though we're here in the shop and it's like work, this was so much fun to just sit down and talk about it and to validate what we're doing, and that it's something. Yeah, but it kind of gives it a little more energy and a little more light, a little rejuvenation in a way of why we love this place so much. So thank you guys, because it honestly feels like tonight was a night that we needed this. After before y'all got here, I was like, we're gonna run out of lists, and I'm like, now I don't care about the list. so thank you guys. Listen to the podcast goes out live. So thank you guys. Yeah. So thank y'all, because this was really good, and this is exactly what I feel like I needed today. So this was awesome. I agree.
Good deal. Hey, that's a wrap for episode 1. Thanks for supporting. Stay tuned. We got more coming. If we're not sitting down with guests, it'll be the 3 of us chopping it up. So you guys stay tuned.
Yeah.
Probably do some coffee or something.
I'll make y'all mocha.
Extra chocolate. All right.
That's great. Hey.
Oh my gosh.
That's great.
All right. That's it.
Awesome.